Hi, good morning, and welcome back to the Kristin Omdahl Show. This is episode 1071, and we are live in Southwest Florida in my garden studio. If you are joining me live, please say hello. If you have questions for me, please feel welcome to ask. That's what I'm here for. I have a sip of protein water while I wait for people to pop over from pre-chat and notifications. If you've never seen this before, this is something so exciting and new to me. I realize not everything that's new to you is new, but it's new to me. And it's clear protein drink. This is so much yummier to me than a milky protein shake. And it's 20 grams of protein in a liquid water that's peach scented, and I buy them by the case now on Amazon, and I've even set up recurring delivery because I love drinking this for breakfast. Hi hi Chris, hi Judy, hi Naomi, hi Judy. Yes, we're gonna have a yarn unboxing today. I've watched these videos over the years because I don't really watch other YouTubers within the craft genre. However, I do know that they exist, and I've never been able to do one, have I? Or have I just not done one? I don't think I've ever done one. Yeah, clear protein's awesome, Chris. I love it. This is peach flavor, and I just love it. Hi, Donna. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Lori. Good morning. So I actually have a funny, long story to tell you about one of the yarns in the unboxing this morning. I had a moment in the store where I literally fell in love with the yarn, and it's the second time in my life that I actually remember the moment that I saw yarn and fell in love with it, other than my own yarns, and that's something different. I'll call it showing new colors. Okay, well, who knows? After 1,071 episodes, who knows what I've done once, twice, or a million times, right? And it doesn't matter. Who cares if I've done it before? You know what matters? I'm doing it today with some exciting yarns for some really exciting projects that I'm working on. And I wanted to share with you why I bought what I bought and why I chose the colors I chose. And I'll even share with you, is there anything in here that I didn't pay for? There is something in here that a company actually gave to me to use their products in one of my products. So I'll explain that when I get there too. But the first yarn that I thought I had to mention today is the yarn that I'm using in the knitting courses and in the projects for the knitting courses. And that is Lion Brand Respun Thick and Quick. This yarn I bought with my own money on Judy's going to have a link for you for where you can find it on Lion Brand website if you don't find it in your stores locally. Sometimes they don't have all the colors in stock. Sometimes it's hit or miss. But anyway, first of all, look at the size of the ball. Like, it's so squishy and so soft. And I literally fell in love with this ball of yarn when I saw it and touched it for the first time in the store. And it's number 6 super bulky yarn. It's 100% recycled polyester. It's called Respun Thick and Quick, and it is absolutely delightful to knit with this yarn. Knitting with it on larger needles was such a meditative process for me when I designed the 5 pattern collection for the 5 knitting courses that I'm working on right now. I absolutely loved making everything, and I really thought in my head, and I still believe it in my heart too, that if somebody is new to knitting or crochet, using bigger yarn and bigger tools is a great way to get started. But what I didn't realize was that making the samples in this yarn was going to turn out so gorgeous too, which you saw with the scarf yesterday, and I'll be showing you the other projects as the courses come out. But I'm absolutely in love with the weight of this yarn, the softness of it, and how beautifully it worked up on 10mm knitting needles. Like, the projects turned out absolutely gorgeous in it. And I think it photographed really well for the knitting course as well. But anyway, so these I purchased with my own money, and I'll show you some of the colors. This is color Spruce, which is like a nice medium sage. This is color Dark Cherry, aptly named. If I would call it maybe a little more rose than cherry, and they're all quite heathered. or those two are quite heathered. This one is also a little bit heathered, and this one is called Night Sky. Beautiful, like denim blue to gray kind of a color family. So beautiful. This is the color. This color is called Wisteria. It's a beautiful light mauve that I absolutely love. And this is the color that I knit the scarf in the first knitting course. So beautiful, so beautiful. And then I won't tell you what colors I use for the other projects. I'll show you when they come out. This is called Faded Denim. This one's not heathered. This is more of a solid color, but a really beautiful dusty sky blue. And here's a yellow called Sunshine. Isn't that great? Anyway, I have a few more colors inside. That's all I could fit in this bin, so I brought those out. And these are the colors that I am using. These are the colors that I'm using for the patterns for the knitting courses, which will come out in time and sooner hopefully than later, and the colors that I'm using for the projects and for the actual videos too. And I'm just having so much fun knitting with it, and if you're new to knitting, I think that this would be super fun. Easy way to get started knitting using this size yarn. And even if you're not new to it, I'm not new to knitting and I'm loving it more than I can even explain to you. It's super bulky weight. It's number 6 super bulky weight is what it's called. And it's just amazing. Now, I guess we can stick with Lion Brand before we move on to the other boxing. I have unboxings. How many skeins of each color did I use for what? Stitches by Sharon? I don't know what you're asking about. How many did I use for each what? I haven't even mentioned the projects that I made, but I will say the giant knit scarf that I made yesterday, that's only 1 ball. So let's talk about the yardage on here. It is 12 ounces. 223 yards per ball of number 6 bulky weight. I made a 1 scarf out of this that was 9 inches wide by 72 inches long. 1 ball of yarn, and it retails somewhere around $10 and goes on sale from time to time. But I can't tell you how soft and squishy the yarn is, and it has a halo on it that actually looks like it's made out of animal fiber or wool, but it's 100% recycled polyester. Really surprisingly amazing, and I actually really love it. Okay, does anybody have any questions about that, or would you like me to move on? So today I'm trying to talk to you about, I am talking to you about some behind the scenes stuff. So I'm working on some relatively large projects right now. A pattern collection for knitting courses, 5-part knitting course. First part's been released, the next 4 parts are in process. All the patterns are done, but all the patterns were designed to teach new skills to build upon the previous skills. So it was really a wonderful collection to put together. And I absolutely enjoyed the entire process. Okay, let's teach cast on, bind off, knit and purl in the first class. Let's make sure that we combine them in a variety of ways to show some different stitch patterns. Okay, then in course 2, what are we going to take from course 1 and then build on? And then in course 3, what are we going to take from courses 1 and 2 to build on for course 3? And doing that for 4. And then looking back from 3, 2, and 1 for 4. And then in course 5, looking back from 4, 3, 2, 1 and building upon it for course 5. So I spent so much time doing that part that I think it's going to just be an amazing tool for anybody that wants to learn how to knit. So as you can see, I'm really excited about it. I get excited sometimes. What can I do? Anyway, okay, so that's one of the large projects that I'm working on right now. One of the other large projects that I'm working on right now is writing my next book. Book 23 is what I've been calling it mostly. That's been and so in the publishing world, what we call the title before the official title, we call it the working title. And it can be anything from blah, 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 ABC, book 23, to anything you want to call it. And then I'm pretty sure I know the title, maybe not the entire semantics or how I'm going to lay it out on the cover, but the new book is going to be called Crochet Power, Edgings. So it's going to be the second book in the Crochet Power series, which I believe is going to become a large-ish franchise that books will come in underneath it. And so they're all going to be in the same vein as the first book, being that it's not just a stitch dictionary or not just a reference book, but a way to learn how to take something and really go with it somewhere and really manipulate it in a bunch of ways to really empower your creative spirit. That's what I said on all the books, and it's what I believe in. I want to empower your creative spirit to just soar with your own creativity, and I feel like I can teach that with these books. And so the second book, and I felt like with the first book, I show you how to make so many different fabrics with so many different shapes and construction styles, with hundreds of dimensions shown for how to make so many different types of projects from these stitch patterns. So that's just like a world of information in itself. But as I finished writing it, I was like, sure, it would be nice to show people how to add edgings to all those things, like how to add edgings to all the shawls that you're going to make in there, and how to add edgings to all the baby blankets or afghans or scarves or whatever you're going to make, cowls, anything you're going to make from all those construction styles, to now be able to put edgings on them. Wow, that's amazing, right? So then as I'm writing the edging book, I decided, number one, I wanted to show you how to turn corners and how to add corner shaping without having to really deconstruct the stitch pattern. So I'm going to have a bunch of really great tips for that. And I also wanted to organize them by type of edging, because that's when you would go to an edging book, right? If you've just finished making a top-down triangular shawl, you're not interested in bottom-up construction. You're interested in top-down construction, or maybe even perpendicular construction. So it was important to me to organize the book by construction style. And then even some of those chapters are going to have sub-chapters. So like, for example, in the top-down construction chapter, I want it to be broken out by 1-row repeats, 2-row repeats, and massive, not massive, but larger scale repeats, maybe that are 3 rows and up. And that may seem not important to you right now, but when you're designing something or creating something without a pattern, that becomes important. Let's say you're making a baby blanket and you're almost out of yarn and you don't want to buy more yarn. Are you going to want a 5-row repeat edging to put on there? No, you're going to want a 1-row repeat edging on there. What if you're making something that you want to be ornate or really dramatic, or you want to make something that's simple and maybe minimalistic? The type of edging you're going to want is going to be extremely different in those cases. Wouldn't it be great if I separated out the edgings and organized them so that you could literally pull something based on what you're looking for? So that's why I decided to do it organized that way. And what's the best way to do that visually? Color coding. So here's the next yarn that I have that I'm unboxing. This is a giant box of Lion brand yarn, and this is another yarn that I wanted to use. And I was actually torn between 2 yarns for this project, because I really wanted a worsted weight yarn because I thought it would photograph very well, and I wanted it to have a specific color palette that I had in my mind for going from all of those different chapters, and having the colors representing each chapter be different enough. I'm not seeing comments, and I'm not sure if it's because I'm just talking so much or if comments have stopped. If everybody's just listening, it's unusual to not see comments, so I'm going to keep talking though. Oh, thanks, Nancy. You can hear. Maybe everybody's just listening. That's fine too. It's fine. It's just when something's different, it questions me, makes me question. Okay, so back to the concept here. I know I'm a little dramatic, but it's because I'm so excited, and I love sharing stuff like this, and I love sharing my vision for things. Okay, that's great. If you're listening, that's fabulous. Thank you. Okay, so at the moment I have 4 chapters. 1 chapter is getting broken out into 3 sections, and the other 3 are pretty constant. However, there are 2 color edgings in 3 of the chapters. No offense. So, let's just start. Well, no, let's not just start. So I needed to find a yarn that had color choices, that had 3 shades similar, and then 4 distinct color families that were different, some that had 2 colors, and all in colors that pleased me still. So you know I wasn't going with fall colors, right? Not necessarily. I didn't go with, you know, oranges and, and yellows. I'm looking for a blue family, a pink family, a green family, right? And a gold. Like, that's where my head goes when I'm looking for a palette. So I looked at Vanna's Choice because you know I love supporting Vanna White. I'm a huge fan and still so honored that I got to interview her, was a couple years ago. Such an amazing milestone for me. She's probably my favorite person that I've interviewed, from my days on Knitting Daily TV to my days at Knit and Crochet Now. Actually, I haven't interviewed on that show. And through the interview series. She's such an amazing person. She's inspired me in lots of ways my whole life, starting from how she picked herself up after tragedy when she was younger. She was also an aspiring model in her youth like me. She also, and charity has been so important to her, and her yarn Vanna's Choice is donated to charity. Like, the whole thing about her, she's so inspiring to me. Anyway, so I really wanted to use Vanna's Choice, but to be honest with you, it didn't have the color range that I was looking for. So I ended up going with Lion Brand's Wool Ease instead. So Wool Ease is 80% acrylic and 20% wool, whereas Vanna's Choice is 100% acrylic. They are both number 4 worsted weight, and they are quite similar in feel and in texture. So I ended up going with the Lion Brand Woolies because it had the colors that I was looking for. Both yarns were great, and I really wanted to support Vanna, but it came down to picking the colors was more important to me than that. And you know what? I will use Vanna's Choice the next time I have a chance to promote her, like I do. I've always used her yarns exclusively on Knit and Crochet Now because I love supporting her. And there'll be a time and a place to do it again, but for this project I went with Woolies. So this is the gold. Remember I said I wanted to pick a gold. This is the gold that I picked. This is Arrowroot, and this is for a chapter that has no 2 color projects, all 1 color. So that'll work perfectly for that chapter. I'm going to show them by chapter, and then we'll come back and do them together. Next, and I picked all my colors online, so you know sometimes you make mistakes when you do that, and I'll explain to you what happened to me when I did that. So the next chapter that I picked was a blue chapter, and here in the low light you're not going to see the differences here. So this is a dark navy blue called Riverside, and this is a denim blue called Denim, and I picked these 2 for the blue chapter, and I do have some 2 color edgings to do in that chapter, and I'm not sure if they're going to photograph high contrast enough because they're so similar. However, once I went back to go look at the color palette, I noticed there really wasn't a light blue in this yarn, so I went back and ordered a lighter gray, like a heather gray. So that might work with the denim blue for 2 color projects, and I don't think it'll be that jarring to the eye to see that color in the chapter, but I am going to try doing the 2 color projects in this combination first, but I bought a ball of this yarn as a backup. Having said that, my contact at Lion Brand Yarn generously donated this yarn for me writing the book, which I am so flattered and honored that they did. I realized yarn companies did that for me years ago when I wrote my books, and I stopped asking when I had my yarns, and you know, I guess my confidence just really wasn't there because I haven't been active in the craft community on that side for so many years, because I've been working so exclusively on my own, that I was actually kind of nervous to contact them about it, even though I have a contact, because I ask them for yarn for Knit and Crochet Now, and I was just so incredibly grateful and flattered that he agreed to send me this yarn. So other than that 1 ball of yarn, this yarn I did not pay for. However, I would have. I'm just happy he did. So anyway, that's the blue chapter. Then you'll see the other chapters, the colors work really well together. Yeah, Lion Brand's a wonderful company. I'm very happy with all my experiences with them. Yeah, exactly. All they can say is no, exactly. All right, so this is for the green chapter. And these are colors Rainforest, which is like it's not a forest green and it's not a teal, but it's somewhere in between them. It's really, really beautiful. And then this is Stillwater, which is a paler like seafoam green, and I thought they looked really well, looked very good together, and they also are a good high contrast within the same family. So if you're scrolling through and see two color projects, you're going to know that that's the green chapter. So I thought those worked well together. Then 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then that's what I did. So then I decided that the third chapter actually needed to be separated out. The third chapter has some two color projects, but it also has 3 sub-chapters that I want to break out. 1 row projects, 2 row projects, and multi-row projects. How great are these for that? So this is like the pinky purple chapter. So then we've got this lighter color rose heather. Then this one I believe is called dark rose heather. And this purple is called raindrops. But as a chapter, how gorgeous are they going to look together? And you know, you can glean so much information from seeing these colors together. So what that I'm writing a book with them, right? So what? You could also be designing a project together. When you see these 3 colors together, you could see a motif project. You could see any combination of colors and stripes. Like, I just think that those are absolutely gorgeous together. Now, let me show you the book as a whole. And you'll see that we've almost got like a heathered rainbow effect going on here, going from the pinky purple to the green to then the blue. I'm not going to be able to do this in my, okay, I'm not even going to try to do it in my arms, but can you see how they kind of look really beautiful together as a collection too, which is important to me because I thought it would be really great if I could scatter a bunch of the edgings on the front and back cover maybe. So it was important that not only the chapters had their own individual color families, but that the overall color the overall color palette still worked together so that they could be shown as a collection on the cover. And I feel like I've been able to accomplish that with this. I am really happy with how these look together. In fact, I've been having all these colors sitting out on the dinette as I work. So as I was working on finishing up all the writing the last couple of days, I had all 8 of those balls, 1 ball each, set up on the dinette so I could see the color family. And it was very pleasing to the eye. And I think it was really helpful to, I don't know, it's kind of incentive to finish writing so that you can get to the stitching. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like putting the cart before the horse, or the carrot in front of the horse, whatever, I don't know. Something like that. Thanks, Angela. Okay, so that's box number 2. Next question you might be asking me, where the heck are you keeping all that yarn, right? Well, I'm hoping to stitch all of this up as soon as possible and get it out the door, right? However, I do have to hang on to it while I'm working on it. And for those of you that want to know where do I store my yarn in an RV, not even a big RV, right? Oh, and I had a neighbor point that out to me the other day. Weird story. I don't know if you want me to tell you or not. Lady stopped me in the road while I was driving back from the garbage dump area, and in the rain, she flagged me down to stop to ask me to get out of my car in the rain and to help her lift a large mirror out of her trunk, walk it up the stairs into her home, and I said yes. And I no sooner did it, and then she starts asking me about where I live and whatever. Then she's like, corrected me that I don't live in a 28-foot RV. I only live in a camper, because she's lived in a large motorhome before, and what I'm in is just a camper. As I'm standing in the rain after helping her, and then she goes, well, when you get tired of your camper, why don't I give you my number in case you ever want to rent my place? And I looked at her and I said, ma'am, thank you so much, but I have absolutely no interest in renting your home. When I can afford it, I'm taking my RV to a property that I can purchase, and we're going to homestead and live off grid because that's my goal. But thank you anyway. Enjoy your mirror. And I turned around in the rain and walked back to my car. Now, don't feel sorry for me because of that story. I want you to hear that I held my head up high. I shared my truth. I did not say a single word to her about her behavior because guess what? Her opinion of me is none of my business, and her behavior is none of my business. I held my head high. I thanked her for her offer, and I turned around and walked away. And I still did my good deed for the day because I still helped her move her mirror in the rain. Anyway, I still live in an RV. There's nothing wrong with a 28-foot RV, and I stand by what I said. Oh, I was telling her off in my eyes. Yes, Chris, you know I was. Okay, we're ready for the next unboxing. Oh, you know what? I have to give a quick shout out to what I'm wearing today too, because I have been on a quest to find two things that I found. So I'm wearing a straw fedora, and I'm wearing these slip-on shoes. Let's see if I can get a better shot of the shoe. Can you see these shoes? They intentionally don't have laces in them. They have elastic underneath the tongue so that you don't have to tie them every time. And I wanted these specifically because I felt like in my current lifestyle, you know, going in and out of the RV, going in and out of the stones, navigating all of these crazy weeds and stuff to get around and work on the RV. I thought it really wasn't safe to be doing all this in flip-flops all the time. And my regular sneakers are things that I wear like for working out. And I really wanted something that I could slip on and off to run out the door quickly. Like if it's raining and I need to pick something up, like my lifestyle is a little more urgent sometimes here than it was in a regular traditional home. Like when something goes wrong, you need to get on it. And a lot of times it has to do when, and a lot of times it has to do with Mother Nature or rain or wind picking up or whatever. So I wanted something that I thought was going to be cute, something I could wear out of the house when I don't want to wear flip-flops, but also something that would protect my feet when I have to run out quickly. I found these on Amazon for like, I don't know, I found them when they were on sale for $9.99, but I think they're still only $15.99 as well. So I wanted to point those out to you. I know they're much safer than flip-flops, and that's why I've been trying to find a pair, Judy. I actually went to DSW and other local stores first, couldn't find anything I liked. Then I loved the price of these on Amazon, so I tried it, bought my regular size 8.5, and they're fantastic. Maybe a little too tight to slip on and off the first two times, but you work your way into it on the third try. Fine. I also wanted to get a straw fedora. I didn't want to crochet this. I really just wanted something woven and simple, something that, and maybe something that wasn't too expensive. I got this for under $20, and it's something I can throw on to wear, I don't know, anywhere. Cover up dirty hair, I don't know, bad hair day, whatever. I just wanted a really simple hat. I had one like this years ago. In fact, there are photos of me in the in the Isla Morada crochet shawl in a hat like this, and I lost that hat. So what was that? 8 years ago. I've been lamenting and missing that hat for 8 years, and a couple days ago I said, that's it, we're getting another one. I know, why did I wait 8 years? Because I shamed myself and saying you should be making one instead, and I just finally said, you know what, I'm not making one. I don't want to make one. My heart's not there. Just go buy it. It's $19. So that's what I did. All right, we're gonna run over today. Oh well, I'm hot and I'm rambling and I'm gonna run over. So you might want to see what my next unboxing is, and that is from NitPicks yarn. And the reason why I have this out, oh yeah, Judy, yes, you know I love my numbers and I love a good countdown. As of this morning, my YouTube channel has 99,900 subscribers, which means now we can legit have a countdown from 100, and that's kind of fun. So as of starting this morning, there's 100 subs to go to hit 100,000 subs. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel and you like my content, maybe consider it. I'm not a pushy salesman, and I'm never gonna try to force or push somebody to like my videos or to subscribe, but hey, if you want to be part of this exciting milestone with me, and maybe you just like my content and would like to get it more regularly, hey, why not subscribe? Anyway, we've got a countdown now, so every day I think I'm going to share what the countdown is. I have no idea how long it's going to take. Could be a day, could be a week, I don't know. But I'm really excited to get that plaque and put it up on my wall in the RV. I'm very excited. Anyway, so the unboxing I'm going to show you right now is yarn that I purchased with my own money again, like the first box of Lion brand yarn. And this is from NitPicks. And I want to, so you know I'm working on knitting courses right now. I want to work on some crochet courses within the theme of Crochet Power and really take a deep dive into each of the stitch patterns, showing you not only how to make each of the 4 variations of it, but then really taking a deep dive into gauge in multiple gauges and showing you how to really do the math and convert from your gauge swatches in those 4 construction styles into making all the different types of projects that are shown in the beginning of the book. So you can take this deep dive course into any one of the stitch patterns in Crochet Power. Well, what's the first step in doing that? Finding yarn, right? I did the first samples for the book in Be So Baby yarn, which is a number 3 DK weight yarn. I thought it was really important to do the stitches for the classes in a different weight yarn, preferably a thicker weight yarn to show up well on camera, and still get a 4-color palette so that each of the 4 construction styles are different, and then also have the ability to show you, here's the number 3 DK weight swatch, here's the number 4 worsted weight swatch. Let's compare and contrast 2 weights. Like, these classes are going to be not only about the stitches from the book, but they're also going to be about gauge, and really a deep dive into gauge with firm examples in each class from the stitch patterns in 2 weights and 2 measurements. Like, you see where I'm going with that? And I know a lot of people struggle with that, so I think these classes are going to be super duper helpful to lots of people. Now, that's 19 stitch patterns times 4 construction styles in 4 different colors, so I needed to get some more yarn, right? So I went to NitPicks and I found a yarn that they had on sale in number 4 worsted weight. It's called Brava, 100% acrylic yarn, number 4 worsted weight. It is, let's see what the yardage is on here, 100 grams and 218 yards, so each ball will go quite a way. And then I'll show you the colors that I ordered. Again, I wanted high contrast colors so that you could see, oh, that's even in rows, that's even in rounds, that's increase in rows, that's increase in rounds. And then, so I gotta open I didn't open the second box ahead of time. Hopefully I can rip the tape with my fingers. Oh yeah, it's gonna work. Ooh, this pink is cute. Oh, and you know, if you ever needed an example of Mother Nature, pick a green and pick a color of a flower. How pretty is that? Wow. Wow, I love those together. Okay, so this is color Avocado, and this is color Lady Slipper. Oh, I love Lady Slipper. All right, and then I pick things based on, just like I said, high contrast. So let's see. This is truly unboxing. I'm having to take the bags out too to show you these colors. And I bought a couple extra colors because, again, shopping online means you're not really sure what you're getting until you get it sometimes, right? What you think you see can change based on your... Okay, is this everything? So this is everything. So we've got pea pod and avocado. Those are the greens. Then my gold is gingerbread. Then I've got a blue here, which is Solstice Heather. This orange is fun. I don't know if I'll use it or not. It's called Caution. Thought it might be good for contrast or something. I don't know, maybe putting an edging on something. This is called Hunter. And then Lady Slipper. And this is a really pale icy blue called Clarity. A lot of those colors look nice together, but they're also good high contrast. So if I pick any of those colors for one construction style over the other, I think it'll be really helpful to recognize which construction style you're looking at, especially if I'm consistent over the different classes. So yeah, and did I tell you where I'm keeping the yarn? I know I said I was going to, but I can't remember if I did. So my queen size bed in the RV is actually on a hinge where the whole bed can lift up. It's on a platform on a hinge, so the whole thing can lift up, and underneath the bed is all storage. So I am able to keep all of these boxes under there, all of them. Isn't that amazing? I've noticed that, and I'll do a tour of the RV soon behind the scenes so you can see an update. I have not done nearly as much renovating in there as that I thought I was going to do. And it's funny, what you think you're gonna do before you do something is never what you end up doing, especially when you're doing something that's so different from your experience. Anyway, I do not like storing things on the overhead bin, on the overhead bed, because I can see up there all day long from sitting in the dinette. So it's very uncomfortable for me to keep a stash of stuff up there. So I have discovered that that makes me really unhappy. And I think being that I'm in my transition period of becoming an empty nester, or I guess it's not a transition anymore, I really am an empty nester. Marlon's been moved out for a couple months right now, and I'm struggling with it. I am. And I think for me, I like keeping it empty up there so it looks like he has a place to come to if he needs to. And I know he doesn't need it, but I think I do right now. I think part of being an empty nester for me is knowing that in a pinch, I could help him. I could open my doors to him still. And maybe it's because I've had to downsize so much that I also feel really, it makes me feel inadequate sometimes that I don't have a room for my son, because I swore that I'd always have a room for Marlon. And that's been the hardest part of this transition to me, in a way, is knowing that I don't have a room for him. And so it's really important to me to keep that overhead bed empty so that anytime he stops by, he sees that there's still a place for him. I'm sorry if it's annoying that I cry sometimes. You know, I'm just a human being, and yes, of course, Judy, I would always make room for him. Shoot, I'd sleep on the floor for him. He could stay in my bed for sure. And the dinette converts into a bed too. So there's that as well. But there's something to me about, and you know, I don't like clutter very much. Especially from a creative standpoint. When my home is cluttered, I am nowhere near as creative as I am when it's tidy, and I don't know why, but it's such a huge difference for me creatively speaking, and so it's really important to me to not see clutter anywhere. And I'm a human being who works from home. I always have clutter, right? But as I, you know, and I've talked about this many times over the years, when I'm working on larger projects, yes, things get out of control, but I always have to bring them back in order to get ready for the next project. And right now, as you can see, I'm working on 3 really large projects, but having that giant storage space under the bed is so helpful for me, because at the end of the day, I can just go, put it all away and feel normal sitting at my dinette still. Yeah, everybody misses their kids. It's hard. Yeah, I didn't, you know, empty nest came at a time when I wasn't expecting it. It came at a time when I had so many other things to deal with all at the same time. Losing Becker, Marlon moving out, Bjorn not liking his life changes, and all of the other life changes. It was a massive storm of emotions for me, and still finding my way. Yeah, if not kids, someone else. Yeah, I suppose someone else could stay here too. I don't I don't see it, but yeah, I suppose. Yeah, we all have emotions, and I'm not afraid to share it. I know some people don't like it when I do, and some people do, but I am a firm believer, and I'm fiercely believe in being transparent and vulnerable, because I think it's the best way to be a teacher, to be honest with you. It's the best way to be a teacher. And my goal in life is to teach and spread positivity and joy and creativity wherever I go, which means I have another story to tell you about my nails tomorrow. Or tomorrow, are we going live tomorrow? What do we have tomorrow? I can't remember if we have a tutorial or, okay, if I have a tutorial video, we'll do that tomorrow. If I don't have a tutorial video, we'll go live tomorrow. But the very next time I go live, remind me to tell you the story about getting my nails done this week. Would I like a hug? Sure, who wouldn't like a hug? All right, does anybody have any questions? Obviously, you can see I have a lot of work to do. Yay, Lori, I'm so glad you did that. That actually is one of the biggest compliments in the world to me, is to know something that I have said to someone they have applied in their own life as well, because that's the ripple effect. I say all the time, other people's opinions of me are none of my business, but when you say it to someone in your circle, it ripples what I've said so much greater, and that is the biggest compliment in the world to me. Thank you, Linda. Sometimes it's not fun to see someone else tear up, but it reminds you that it's okay to do it too. If you're struggling with things, it's okay. Let it out and move on. Thank you, guys. Thank you. All right, I don't see any other questions. Did you like my unboxing? If you liked any of these yarns, leave me a comment when we're no longer live. If you have questions for me about any of this, always feel welcome to come back and leave them for me in the comments. I get notified from comments throughout the day, and if you've ever checked the comment sections on any of my videos, you'll see I reply to everybody. This is part of my daily events. I reply to comments all day long. So if you have a question, ask me. I'm happy to help. I also have great customer service through my website. You can contact Judy for any questions you have there. She's amazing. If you have questions about any of these yarns, let me know. If you have requests for other things you want to see or hear me talk about or share with you, let me know. We'll just move forward from here. Let us make time to create, share, and inspire today and every day. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.